Have you ever reached a milestone you once feared, only to realize it became one of the happiest days of your life? The gifts that made my 60th birthday unforgettable. I never thought I would look forward to turning 60. If I'm being honest, I used to whisper that number to myself like it was something shameful. 60 sounded old, heavy, final. It sounded like a chapter where everything slows down and people stop noticing you. But on the morning of my 60th birthday, I woke up smiling. Not because I suddenly felt young again, no, but because I felt full of life, full of memories, full of gratitude. I lay in bed for a few minutes, staring at the ceiling, listening to the quiet hum of the house. The early morning light slipped through the curtains, soft and gentle, like it was congratulating me for making it this far. 60 years. I whispered it out loud and laughed. I had seen heartbreak. I had buried dreams and planted new ones. I had lost people I loved deeply, and I had gained people I never expected. And somehow, I was still here, still standing, still loved. I didn't expect much from the day. At my age, expectations are quieter. You learn that happiness doesn't always come in loud celebrations. Sometimes it comes in small moments. But that morning, my phone buzzed, then buzzed again and again. Messages started pouring in from my children, my siblings, old friends, former coworkers, even people I hadn't spoken to in years. Happy 60-year birthday. Thank you for everything you've done for me. You've always been a light in my life. We love you more than words can say. I sat on the edge of my bed, reading each message slowly, carefully, like I didn't want to rush through the love. And then the gifts started arriving. The first knock came just after breakfast. A delivery man handed me a neatly wrapped box. Inside was a soft shawl in my favorite color, the kind you wear when evenings feel cooler and life feels calmer. I smiled and draped it over my shoulders immediately. Another knock. This time it was my neighbor, holding a small basket filled with homemade treats and a handwritten note that read, "Thank you for always listening." I hadn't realized how much listening mattered to people. Then came flowers. So many flowers, bright ones, gentle ones, roses, lilies, sunflowers. Each bouquet carried a card. Each card carried a memory. I remember when you helped me through my divorce. You believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. You treated me like family when I had none. By noon, my living room looked like a garden of love, but the gift that broke me, the one that made my eyes fill with tears, came from my children. They gathered me in the living room and handed me a box together. Inside was a photo album. On the cover it said, 60 years of loving us. I opened it slowly. There were pictures of me holding them as babies, school events I barely remembered, holidays, random moments captured without my knowing. On every page there were little notes written in their handwriting. Thank you for sacrificing so much. Thank you for never giving up on us. Thank you for being our safe place. My hands trembled. All those years I worried if I was doing enough, if I was being enough, and here they were telling me that I was. That evening, as the sun began to set, I sat quietly with my gifts around me. The flowers, the cards, the messages still lighting up my phone. And I realized something powerful. Turning 60 wasn't the end of being loved. It was the proof that I had lived a life that touched others. The gifts weren't just presents. They were reminders, evidence, love returning to me in physical form. I wasn't invisible. I wasn't forgotten. I was celebrated. And as I blew out the candle on my small cake that night, I made a quiet wish. Not for more years, but for more moments like this, moments where love shows up and reminds you that every year you lived mattered.